All right, so let's just start laying down on your back. Now, if you have a foam roller, you can lay on a foam roller like we would in the studio if you're at that stage. You can also just lay on your back, but either way you want to look for that nice little small space for a blueberry under your lower back, okay? So heaviness through the tailbone and the lower hips and the ribs, okay? So remembering to breathe into the side of the ribs and exhale. Let the air come out of the ribs. Remembering that we're looking to maintain this neutral. Place your arms down by your side. Make sure that you're relaxed through the shoulders and the neck, and always check in with yourself. Your feet are hip width apart, and remembering the little suction caps under your big toe, little toe and heels, okay? So that you've got firm connection into the ground. We're looking for nice leg alignment, so maintaining the same distance between your knees, usually about a fist distance. We're going to take a breath in and raise the left leg into tabletop. When we exhale, I want you to melt the ribs, pull the belly button to the spine, and lower the leg back to the ground. Then we're going to inhale and bring the other leg up into tabletop, and exhale to lower down. Placing one thumb on your rib cage and the forefinger or middle finger on your hip bones will help you to feel if you're rocking around while you do this. Just keep moving as you inhale and exhale. Focusing on drawing your two hip bones together as you exhale. Lock your dog up before you start your exercise program. Inhale and exhale. If you feel that your hips are lowering, bending away from you, keep moving. I want you to think about bringing the hips back towards you slightly as the leg lowers away, so they're going in the opposite direction, so that you can help to keep them stable. Most of you have done this exercise within the class. In the classes, or especially at your beginning level. Some of you are a lot newer and are still mastering this, so just really bring your mind to where that pelvis is and trying to keep it still. It's a hip disassociation exercise, so we're trying to be able to move the legs without moving the body. If you're having trouble with that, just keep moving and practicing this every day. Now we're going to exhale. Bring the other leg up into tabletop. Now this is when the load gets a lot heavier, so I want you to really focus on keeping that core on here. We're going to breathe in. When you exhale, melt the ribs. Tap the toe to the ground like you're dipping it in a puddle of water. Breathing in to come back up, and exhale to go down again. Inhale to float up. Really should be feeling the core at this point. And inhale, float up. Now here you would really notice the hips could be drifting away from you and your back would be arching away. If you're noticing that, now that both legs are in the air, it's more common in this variation than the first, to not have that control. I want you to really think about using your core, drawing your pelvic floor up and pulling that belly button to spine. Think of the pelvis as the leg lowers, shifting back towards you slightly. You won't squash that blueberry under your pelvis. You will just keep your pelvis still. If you're under that much load, it's impossible to squash the blueberry pretty much. And check in with your shoulders and your neck. Make sure you're not holding any tension through your upper body. Okay, now we're going to breathe in here. And on your exhale, you're going to extend one leg away from the body. Now I want you to bring the leg back in. As you inhale, when you exhale, I want you to pull your kneecap back with your thigh muscles. Reach that toe away from you. Really engage the leg muscles as you do this. If you keep moving as I explain this, if you are bending your leg or not getting it straight, you will be putting more load on your back and less load on your core. And we want your core to be working here. So Make sure that leg's straight, because it also could grip in onto your hip flexors if your legs are bent. And we don't want to overwork those either, okay? Which is also why your back will hurt. So really focus on a straight leg. Now the higher the leg goes to the ceiling, the easier this exercise is, okay? However, if you've got tight hamstrings, you will struggle to get the legs straight, so you might need to come away from vertical. If you want to challenge yourself, reach out lower. But make sure, whatever range you choose, you are not arching your back. Some of you might feel a bit of a clunking in your hip when you do this. It's nothing to worry about. Just bring your focus back to your core. Lower one leg down at a time. Okay, so now we're going to do a double leg variation. I just want you to reset. Inhale, bring one leg to tabletop. Exhale to bring the other leg up. Keeping the legs together, this time like they're wrapped in a bandage. We are going to exhale, extend both legs. Again, making sure the core's down. Inhale to come up. Exhale, extend. Inhale to come up. If any of you want a challenge, you can place your hands behind your head, support the weight of your head in your hands, and curl up. Exhale, extend the legs. Inhale, bring them back to tabletop. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Now, as you continue to move through this, if you are in the curled up position, you may find that you slowly lower down. Your back will be under way too much load, so you keep curling up. Every repetition, bring yourself higher, because you will have lowered closer to the ground. If you're still on the mat, keep your legs higher if you can't maintain neutral. You will find that you can't go as low with double legs as you can with single legs. 2 more. Okay, we're going to do a bridge now. So most of you haven't done a lot of bridges with just playing on the mat without anything else and no props, okay? So you'll find that you won't get as much articulation, but you just want to move through the same motion, so breathing in to prepare. Exhale, curl your tailbone up between your legs and peel your spine up off the mat, 1 vertebrae at a time. Breathing in, feel the length out through the knees. Feel as if someone's pulling your knees away from your ribs and your chest. Exhale, lower down through the sternum. Keep that tailbone tucked under as much as you can. So your glutes need to be engaged for you to get the articulation all the way back down to the ground. Breathing in again. Exhale. Belly button draws back. Peeling up. The important part is trying to pull your body this way. Get that length, get that axial length between the vertebrae, and then exhale to lower down. Check in with your shoulders and your neck. Breathing in. Exhale. Breathing in at the top. And exhaling to lower down. Really focus on each vertebrae, connecting one at a time. Now on the next one we're going to add on. So I want you to breathe in. Exhale, come to the top. Now staying here, we're going to do a bit of a typewriter with the hips. So I want you to feel like the old school typewriters. I want you to exhale, shift your hips to one side, drop down 1 centimetre, and then come across to the left side, drop down 1 centimetre, across to the right, drop down. And just keep moving across from side to side, using your core. You'll feel a lot of mobility happening through your lumbar spine. Which is really good. And then just resting down. We're going to come back up. And now we're going to draw a figure 8. So you're going to dip down through one hip and then lift up and dip down through the other. And just, so it's just a nice fluid movement, activating the glutes and the back of the legs and getting your spine to loosen up. In a bit of rotation. And one more. Come back up to the top. And now we're going to do some little hip thrusts like we do on the reformer. So you're going to drop your bottom down and then squeezing with the glute, tucking the tailbone under, squeezing here and then lower. And lift and squeeze. And lower. Lift and squeeze and lower. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Make sure you're really holding that squeeze. 3, 2, keeping those ribs down. Some of you have a tendency to pop those ribs. Holding up on 1, make sure you're squeezing those glutes. And we're going to do some pulses. 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, squeeze, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take a big breath in, hold up, and then exhale. I want you to articulate down like we have at the beginning. Beautiful, we're going to do that one more time. Nice big breath in to prepare. Exhale to peel up. Breathe into lengthen, don't forget the lengthen. We're going to lower, lift and squeeze. Lower, lift and squeeze. You should be feeling a burn right where the back of your legs reach your butt. We're doing 10 more here. Make sure your legs are not drifting out towards the sides. Keep them so they're hip width apart. Make sure you're not popping your ribs up. You won't be getting the benefit of your butt. You're trying to lift your hips higher than your ribs. If you look gaze down and you can't see your hip bones, then your ribs and chest are up too high. 4, 3, make sure you're emphasizing on that squeeze. 2, and 1, hold here, and 20 pulses. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Again, check in. Are you holding any tension in your chest, in your shoulders? Are you holding your breath? Make sure that the only thing working right now is your booty. 5, 4, 3, 2. There's that dog again. 1, and squeeze and hold. Breathe in and lower down on the exhale. Okay. Now, if you've got a magic circle at home or a towel or something, you can go ahead and grab that. I've got a magic circle just here. Just grab a towel, it'll work too. So we'll just stretch out the back of the legs after doing that. So just popping one foot in and breathing, relaxing. Now if your leg's bent, that's fine. And you're feeling the stretch here, that's great. Just focus. Some of you are not going to be as flexible as others. So making sure that you can feel the stretch and it's comfortable. And you don't want to force yourself to get a straight leg. We also don't want to be yanking it towards us so that the bottom lifts off the mat. You're not benefiting from that at all. The tailbone and sacrum want to remain heavy down in the mat. Okay, so this part of the leg's pulling away from you, and then the heel of your foot is reaching up for the ceiling. And if that looks the same if your leg's bent. Okay, if you're really, really flexible, which some of you are, keep that tailbone heavy, very important. Then you can pull your leg towards you. only if you can keep heavy through here. Okay, so you need to think about the pelvis reaching that way as the leg comes forward. All right, moving on to the other side. Using your exhale breath to relax into the stretch. Enjoy it. I've been doing a lot of work on my hamstrings and they are tight today. Okay, so breathing and working on stretching. 2 more breaths here. And exhale. If you've got the towel, all you're doing is draping it over your foot and holding onto the ends of the towel, obviously. Okay, all right. Okay, so just popping the foot down and pop the towel in, magic circle out of the way. Okay. So now I'm going to do a chest lift. If you have osteoporosis and then I don't want you to do these, just fast forward the video here. Okay, now again, we're trying to chase that neutral spine, so I don't want you to tilt your pelvis back and squash the blueberry. We want to keep that the same. When we've got our hands behind our head, always remember the weight of the head is in your hands. Your hands are not pulling your head forward so that your neck shouldn't have any tension at all. We breathe in here to prepare and exhale, slide the ribs towards the hips and lower down. As you inhale, exhale to curl up and inhale to lower down. Exhale to curl up and inhale to lower down. We're going to add on, exhale to curl up. Inhale, reach your arms to touch your thighs. Exhale, curl up even higher. Inhale, bring your hands back behind your head and then lower down on the exhale. Breathing in here. Exhale to curl up. Inhale to reach. Exhale to curl up. Inhale, hold. Exhale, the hands go back behind the head and lower down. Inhale to prepare. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, inhale, and lower down on the exhale. Exhale, inhale, exhale, curl up higher. Okay, just even if it's just a millimeter. It doesn't look like this, okay? And then lower down, breathing in. Exhale, inhale, exhale. Just keep moving with your breath. Exhale. If you just take a look too, I want you to make sure that as you're doing this exercise, you're not squashing the blueberry. So that would look something like this. Okay, so try to avoid that. Keep this the same. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Gets deeper into your lower tummy. 2 more. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Just grab your legs and hug them into your chest. Just roll around through your pelvis a little bit. Massage out the bottom of your back. It feels a bit tight after that. Okay. I'm going to lay on your side. And for some of you could grab a pillow, off your couch, off your bed, and you can just lay it down under your head like you would if you were laying sideways in bed. Otherwise, you can just place your hand under your head like I have here. What's important though, and maybe easier for you if you've got your head down, is that we want to be staying lengthened through the waistline. So I can't believe that the lawnmower guy's here now. So staying lengthened. So just imagine, like I can put my whole hand under there right now, it's quite exaggerated, but you're just looking for like at least a little row of ants underneath there, okay? Because if not, you just collapse through here and your torso's not working. So make sure that you're keeping that axial length, that spinal length through the torso, okay? So thinking of this hip reaching away. We're going to place the feet on top of each other and the knees on top of each other, and pretend that the back of the feet, your bottom and your shoulder blades are all matched up against the wall behind you. Place your hand on your glute. Lift both feet off the ground. And as you do that, you'll notice that your waistline will dip. So come back to that nice lengthened torso. Okay, now holding here, you can either hold your hips long or place your hand here. The idea is to be able to lift your leg and lower without rolling this hip backwards. So really keep an eye on it and make sure that it stays still. You want to be working through the outside of the leg and your glutes. We're going to do 30. I think that was about 5, 6, 7. Keep your tummy on. 8, 9. Just keep checking in to see if, as you fatigue, that the hip's not starting to roll back, okay? Glutes just tapping out if we do that, so you want to keep it still. Sit, Bonnie, sit. Keep coming up. I don't advise you to do it with your dog hanging out at the house or when the gardener arrives. So hopefully you guys can still hear me. I think that's about 12. Sit down, Bonnie. Sit down. Not on me. Oh gosh, 13. No, I'm just kidding. 10 more. 10, you should all be able to feel it. Keep going. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower the leg down. Okay, so now what we're going to do is lift the foot up, keep the knees together, then lift the knee up and tap the foot. Lift the foot and tap the knee. Lift the knee and tap the foot. Lift the foot and tap the knee. You got it. So it's like you're painting rainbows with the bottom half of your leg. But a lot of you, when you do this, because you'll be really new to this, your whole body will be rocking around with your leg. So I'm trying to avoid that and keep this femur moving inside the hip socket. Moving inside the hip socket. Okay, so not dragging the hip with it. Keeping the core on will help you to keep that still. Okay, use your hands for tactile feedback so you can feel if you're rocking around. 6, 5, 4, 3. Keep the leg up nice and high. It will start to be dropping at about this point. 2. Get the bigger the arc, the better. And 1. Lowering down. Beautiful. Okay, straighten the leg out nice and straight. Oh, he turned it off. Nice and straight. Now, when your leg's long, it's heaps easier to make sure your waistline's long, because you just got to act as if someone's pulling your foot, and it will bring length through your whole entire body, and it will help you to activate all the muscles. So I want you to do that, okay? Now, place your hand on the ground and keeping this leg internally rotated, okay? So none of this rolling back and using in through the front of the legs. A lot of you, I see you're doing that in the studio, so just be really mindful that the hips are still, like if you were to put a spirit level across here at the front of your hips, that you would know that they are stacked on top of each other. They're not too far forward either, because that can happen when you internally rotate. It's not the hip that's moving, it's the leg. Okay, so keeping the leg here, we're going to lift and lower. Lift and lower. The other thing that tends to happen a lot with this exercise here is bent knees. So after X amount, and probably once we get to the circles will be when I probably see it the most. Once the knee starts to bend in this exercise, you are no longer, well, you are still using the glute, but it's not working as hard as it should be. And when the leg's straight, it's working harder. Okay, so now we're going to hold the leg up. Now, I can get my leg quite high without bending my waist, but some of you will have to keep it at hip height so that you're not compensating at the waist. Again, we're trying to isolate the side of the leg here. So again, keeping the leg as if it's being reached away from you. You're going to do little bread plate size or side plate size circles. 5 more. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, and reverse. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Have a little rest. Now we're going to do the rainbows. So we're going to lift the leg up. We're going to inhale, tap at the front, exhale, tap at the back. Again, think about what's going on with the pelvis as you do this. Make sure your body and torso aren't moving with your leg. You want to isolate the rest of your body. It should be as still as possible. This is why I always say don't speed up exercises. The minute you speed it up, you're not getting the benefit or the most out of it. I don't know how many that is. Let's say we've got 4 more. 4, 3, 2, keep the height, and 1. Okay, I like to punch it, give it a bit of a punch. Lay back, cross that ankle over that knee, and if you can, place your hands behind the back of your leg. Pull, I like to put it at the top of mine because I'm a little bit more flexible, but I like to pull that leg in and really with this elbow push that leg away, or this hand, and you'll get more of a stretch, and just breathe into it. Ah, love it. It's the best stretch. That's enough stretching. Okay, come up to the other side. Spin around. Okay, long waist, stacked hips, stacked feet. Lift the feet off the ground, keep the length through your waistline, and then lift the top leg and lower, and lift and lower. We're doing 30 of these, aren't we? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, just keeping, he just started up again. Okay, so just keeping, it's hard for me to keep talking and counting, so hopefully you're counting at home. I'm probably nearly at 20, so we've probably got about 12 more. I just want you to really keep being mindful when you're doing this, that you're feeling this here, okay? If you're not, shoot me a text, let me know. I will remind you how to get into it. We'll look at some other ways. But yeah, just keeping this stacked. If you are wobbling away even a millimetre in some cases, you won't be allowing the glute to take the load. If you're anything like me, this side's my weak side and this is burning. So that's what we're chasing, is that absolute burn where you can barely lift it at the end, okay? Working glute med and glute med. So you probably can't hear me anymore, but I would say that's about 10. Now we're going to lower the legs down, and then, oh yes, he turned it off. Oh, the joys. Oh well, training wheels. I'm only new at this. Okay, so you're going to lift your foot, and then lift your knee, and then tap your foot, and tap your knee. Remembering, the leg isn't bringing the hips along for the ride, okay? So, knee, foot, knee, foot. Yep. Now this feels totally different. It kind of goes down through the outside of your leg a little bit more. But again, you've got to, you're trying to disassociate that leg. We're working through internal rotation and external rotation, which is awesome for everybody, just to get those hips moving. And really good for getting more mobility through the hips. Okay, 6, 5, keeping those arcs big. 4, making sure you're not starting to rock around as it starts to hurt. 3, 2, 1, and close the leg. Okay, straightening the leg out, lengthening the waist, lift and lower. We're doing 10 of each. And always thinking about length, because if someone's pulling you away, like pulling your foot away from you. And every time I talk, I forget how many we've done. Let's say 2 more. And last one, we hold the leg up, and we're going to do little side plate size circles. 7, 6, 5, keeping the pelvis as still as possible, legs internally rotated. 3, 2, 1, and reverse. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Little stretch. And the rainbows. Tap. Oops, I tapped the dog. She won't be sleeping for much longer. 2. Or maybe she will. 3, 4. So much fun, isn't it? At least I'm doing the exercises with you when we do them from home. 5 and 6, 7, 8. What are you doing, Bonnie? 9. Nice and big. Keep thinking of the length. Make sure you're not bending the knee. I think she liked getting kicked. 2 more. 2 and 1. Rolling over onto your back. Put the foot over the leg and bring it up to stretch it. Gosh, I love this stretch. It's the best. So I've been home all week with Ella, and I sent her back to daycare today so I could film this for you all. And my body is so stiff because I have been on the computer the whole week. I honestly don't know how you all do it. All of those of you that are at desk jobs, I used to have one and I don't miss it. So this is why I've done this today. It's just a quick little video just to get you guys moving, get the blood moving, and some stretches to keep your spine moving. So the next one we're going to do now is a nice little book opening. Okay, sorry guys, had to turn it off because of the gardener, and then the dishwasher was on. It's quite crazy trying to do this from home. Anyway, so we're going back to book opening. So you're just going to lay on your side, and you want to lay with a head on a pillow if you can. And you just bring that back leg back and the top leg down onto the ground. Some of you won't be able to get it the whole way to the ground, and that's okay, and some of you will. I want you to make sure that you're still like getting some nice length through the torso here as well. Always looking for length and everything. So try to hold this leg down to wherever your range is going to allow you to, because what we're actually going to be trying to do is reach along through this leg. The other leg arm's going to come out nice and straight in front of you, and your gaze is going to follow your fingertips. So you're going to inhale as you float the arm to the ceiling, look up at the ceiling, and then when you exhale, you're going to rotate from the rib cage all the way back to the ground. Still holding this leg down. Inhale to float back up, and exhale. I'm just going to move forward. Doesn't touch the wall. You're going to inhale and exhale. So trying to get, in this case, my left shoulder and arm and the top of my ribcage down on the mat whilst holding this knee down. Inhale to come back up. Exhale, close. Inhale to float. So you break it up into 2 breaths. Really focusing on letting all the air come out of the ribs when you rotate back. And inhale to come back. Okay. This time I want you to come back. Breathing out. Stay here. Breathe in. Stay in the same position as you breathe in to reach long with your left arm. And then exhale. Melt even more to the ground. Keep your leg pinned to the ground. Breathing in and exhaling. 2 more breaths. And with each exhale, I want you to try and rotate more and more and relax more into the stretch. 1 more breath. And coming up. And we'll go to the other side. Stacking hips. Nice long torso. Hold the hand down, arm in front. Follow your gaze with your fingertips as you inhale to the ceiling. And exhale. Rotate back. Inhale back up. And exhale back to the beginning. So this is just about using your breath and thinking about the rib cage being wringing out the spine. So like a towel, like you're wringing a towel out that's full of water. Thinking about trying to create, by pinning this leg down on the ground, a bit of a Chinese burn type feeling through your whole torso. Now some of you won't make it, most of you won't make it back as far as me. And it may look a little bit more like this. The leg might be more up here, and you might only get to about here. So just keep moving, all of you, while I'm explaining this. Just keep moving with your breath. When you get to this point, just make sure that to get back, you don't flop your arm back like this, because then you're just overstretching your shoulder and you're not getting any stretch through your body. You're just going to feel it through the front here, and that's it, and the arm. Okay, so that's not the point of the exercise. We want to come to here and make sure that the shoulder is leading the way and the arm follows. So you're trying to get that shoulder blade to the mat and then let the arm follow. Just like that, okay? And if you just think of that, you might just get to here, okay? Or to here, or even to here. But each repetition, you want to try and get a little bit further. Okay, now we're going to go over to the last one and stay there for 4 breaths. Exhale to come all the way over. Breathe in. Exhale. Relax further and deeper into the stretch and breathing in again. Relax everything. 2 more breaths. The more that you can relax on every exhale, and the more you can pin this leg to the ground, the more benefits you're going to get out of the exercise. Last one. And coming all the way back up. Okay. Now, get ready, pillow. Come onto your hands and knees. So make sure your hands are underneath your shoulders. A lot of you will have like really bendy elbows like I do. The elbow doesn't want to be facing outside. They want to be facing together. And you also just want to soften them a little bit so they're not actually locked. That way the muscles are going to be doing the work, not the joints, okay? Make sure the wrists are underneath the shoulders, and so that your hands are actually shoulder width apart. And make sure that your shoulders aren't up in your ears. So many of you carry so much stress in your shoulders, so just slide them away, push the floor away from you so that you can elevate your body up away from the floor, okay? Think of the ribs lifting back up. Think of all the tummy muscles like a corset, like an old-fashioned corset that the girls used to wear, okay? Pulling all your organs back up towards your spine, okay? Think of a nice neutral pelvis and your belly button drawing up towards your spine as well. And just check back in with those elbows. See, mine goes a little rogue every now and then. Now the knees want to be underneath the hips, they're hip width apart. Okay, got the positioning. We're going to inhale as we slide the right arm and the left leg along the ground. Now, Then I want you to think of length, not height with this one. So pretend you're reaching for the wall in front of you and for the wall behind you with your toe. Trying to keep the torso long, strong, and straight. Make sure you haven't sunk down through the shoulders. Push the floor away. Stay strong through the torso. Now, on the next exhale, draw the arm leg back in underneath you. Try to minimize any shifting between the hips when you transfer the weight. And inhale, extend the opposite arm and opposite leg. Keep checking in with those elbows. Make sure they stay soft. Look at the eye, the elbows are facing into the center. Keep your head long and the shoulders away from you. Tummy on. Keep length out through the arm and the leg. And on the next exhale breath, bring the arm and leg back in. So now we're going to move a little faster. Now that you know what you're thinking about, we're going to exhale to extend this time. Inhale, draw back in. Minimize the shifting between the hips by drawing the belly button towards the spine. Draw the hip bones together using those transverse abdominal muscles. Moving with your breath. Exhale, extend. Inhale, draw the arm back in. Exhale. Inhale. I want you to feel through the back of your legs, really engaging because you're reaching so long and strong. Avoid bending your back. Avoid lifting your head. Don't want to hyperextend anything. Keep pushing the floor away from you. Keep the tummy on. As you fatigue through the arms, you may start to sag through the shoulders. So keep strong. Keep lifting the sternum back up away from the ground. And exhale. Keep the shoulders gliding away from the ears. Lifting the tummy on, keeping the ribs in line with the hips. We don't want them saggy. 2 more each side. Exhale to extend, reach long. Inhale, draw the arm and leg back in. Exhale, extend. Inhale to draw in. Keep those legs strong and straight. Beautiful. Now just sit back and give those shoulders a nice little stretch. And back up onto your hands and knees. Make sure you're still arms are still shoulder width apart, knees still hip width apart. We're going to, on the exhale breath, curl the tailbone under. Look back up at your tummy. Pull that belly button up away from the floor, like it's trying to pull itself up to the ceiling. Inhale. Lower through neutral. Glide those shoulders back and down, back. Lifting up, pulling the chest between the shoulders. Tailbone reaching for the ceiling. Exhale. To nod. Look back up at the tummy. The more you can curl the tailbone under, the more you'll get out of it. Inhale. Look at the wall in front of you. The more you can lower your ribs and pull your chest between your shoulders. The more stretch you're going to get out of this. Just remembering. Exhale to come up. Keep moving with your breath. Nice, long, slow breaths. Just remember, if you've got stenosis, spondylosis, spondylolisthesis, just be careful in this part. Maybe just come to neutral. Work where your body is comfortable. Exhale. Again, if you've got osteoporosis, pregnant, you probably shouldn't be doing the flexion or as extreme. Okay. Now we're going to finish up with a nice little mermaid. Now, I don't know that I've really ever done a mermaid with anybody on the floor before, so some of you are going to be able to sit just like this, and some of you are not. So, for the some of you that can, go ahead and sit like this. For the some of you that cannot, sit where, so the leg that's on the external rotation here, if that butt's not touching the ground, grab the pillow that you used before, or the towel, or whatever you've got around you, fold it up, and stick it under that butt cheek only. And it will help even out your hips and get the hips both down on the ground, or at least closer to. hang on, what am I talking about? Other way around. On this one. Sorry, on the left one. I'm looking at myself in the camera and it's like a mirror and I got all confused. Okay, so now you'll be nice and level on the ground, okay? If this is not comfortable, you can cross your legs and sit on the pillow like this. Or you could also sit out like this. Okay, so we're just sitting tall now that you're all in position. Okay, we're going to breathe in, feel the length out through the crown of the head. Keep the ribs tucked in, make sure none of you have popped your ribs out. And then when you exhale, you're going to lift your body up and over. Allow your left arm to bend, but at the same time feel as though you're pushing the floor away so that you can maintain the ribs lifting up and over. Inhale back through the center. Exhale to come through the other side. Breathe in, reach, push the floor away. Really stretch out that rib cage. Inhale through the center. Grow tall as you inhale through the center. Exhale to come over. Really reach. Now when you inhale, fill the ribs with air. Fill those lungs. Feel yourself lifting right up out of your hip. And then inhale through the center. Exhale to cross over. Inhale to reach. Really reach. The more you can do this, the better the stretch is going to be for you. Exhale to go over. Inhale through the center. Keep checking in with those ribs. Breathe in as you inhale. Make sure they're not flaring out forward. You want to keep the ribs stacked on top of the hips. Keep those shoulders away from the ears. Make sure when you're coming over here, your shoulder's not right up in your ear. Like allow that shoulder blade to slide down your back. Keep the space between the ear and the shoulders. Okay, swap sides if you're sitting like this. Everybody else just keep moving. We're just going to do 3 more here. Just moving with your breath. And each time trying to get that little deeper into the stretch than you did from the last one that you did. Okay, last one. And then we're going to come around and do a rotation stretch while we're sitting here. So I want you to bring one hand to the outside of your knee. If you are sitting with straight legs, try to sit with the crossed leg. Sit up on the pillow. Make sure you're up on the pillow. It will help you to sit with your legs crossed. Okay? It may not be something that's comfortable for everybody, so you might just have to sit it out. But you're going to push this leg away with your left arm and put your right arm behind you. And stay here as you inhale. And exhale, try to rotate even further. Keep thinking of length through the shoulders, through the head, and keeping the shoulders nice and wide. One more breath. Inhale through the center. And rotate around as you exhale. Just knowing that when you exhale, you get so much more out of every stretch. Okay, coming around. So we're going to do one more exercise. This is not the full range one of this is not very good if you've got stenosis or spondies. But the first 2 should be okay as long as you can control your pelvis. And I'm going to talk you through how to do that. Okay, so everyone's going to come down, lie on their tummy. And obviously if you're pregnant, you can't lie on your tummy either. I will do more specific workouts coming up. I just wanted to give everybody some things to go through. So just fast forward anything that's not appropriate to you. So I want you to place your fingertips underneath your shoulders. Nose is hovering off the mat. I want you to think about lengthening your torso out and relaxing the toes down. grab your pelvis actually. I'm just going to use my own hands, keep your hands where they are, and tilt your pubic bone into the mat so that you can activate your core to lift up away from the mat. This lengthens your lower back and keeps your tummy on to protect your lower back, okay? So we're still getting length through the spine. Your fingertips are underneath your shoulders, okay? So head's long. So I don't want to do this, okay? We want length through here the whole time. Now, I want you to really separate your fingers. Allow yourself to push down into the mat, and as if you're pushing the mat forward away from you as you push down, and let that allow you to roll your shoulders down your back as you lift up. And then exhale to come down. Inhale to come up. Now, as you're pushing the mat away with your hands, allow the shoulders to roll back so that your chest can pull between your shoulders towards the wall in front of you. For those of you that have got the disc pathologies that I mentioned earlier, please just continue with this one. For everybody else, if you want to take it to the next step, make sure your tummy is on. We're going to inhale, push the mat away, glide the shoulders back. Lead with the crown of the head. Keep the length through the back of the neck. Lift yourself up. And then when you come down, I want you to pull the mat back towards you, keeping your tummy on as you lower all the way back down again. So we're creating space in the spine, lengthening and stretching. Inhale to come up, pushing the mat away, gliding the shoulders back, lifting through the crown of the head, keeping the tummy on. Allow the hips to come right up. Feel your tummy on. And then when you exhale, pull the mat back towards you and slowly lower yourself back down again. Inhale. And exhale, come back down. Just keep moving. I just want to show you, incorrect would be shoulders up here like this, and see how my hips are hanging down versus active tummy, okay? And shoulders away. So we don't want the shoulders forward, we don't want them up near our ears. Last one. Coming up. Lengthen all the way through the crown of the head as we come back down. Okay. Now, we're going to just finish off with a little scarecrow. So I want your arms to be out wide, nose is hovering off the mat. Okay, and very important, nose is hovering off the mat. So your eyeballs are looking straight down at the mat. We're not looking up at the floor in front of us because it puts our neck in the wrong position. And you want to maintain that same position. So think about where the ears and the shoulders are. Feel a stretch in the back of your neck. If you can't feel the stretch in the back of your neck, then your head's not in the right position. Okay, so this one's a little bit challenging for shoulders. Okay, make sure that the belly button's still active. It's lifting up away from the floor. And what we're going to start off with is just inhaling, keeping the elbows on the ground and lifting the forearms up. And then exhale to lower down. Try that again. Inhale. Keep the shoulders wide, keep the collarbone smiling. Exhale to lower down. Now we're going to add on. We're going to inhale. The arms come up. Now exhale, lift the elbows off the ground, but keep the arms higher. And then lower down the elbows and then the forearms. We do that one more time. We keep doing this in stages. Inhale, the forearms come up. Exhale, the elbows come off. Inhale, we lower the whole lot down. Take a big breath out. Here we go. Inhale the forearms. Exhale the elbows. Keep the forearms higher. Inhale, come into thoracic extension where just your shoulders come off. Exhale, reach your arms overhead. Inhale, draw them back to a capital T. And then lower down on the exhale breath, elbows first, and then the forearms. There's a lot going on here. Inhale the forearms. Exhale the elbows. Inhale, the chest lifts up. Keep the length in the neck. Exhale, reach long. Inhale. Squeeze the shoulder blades as you draw your arms back into a capital E. Lower down on the exhale. Make sure the elbows touch before your hands touch. Breathing in. Breathing out. Inhale the arms. Exhale the elbows. Inhale into extension. Keep the length. Exhale, reach long. Feel the muscles in your upper back working. Exhale, squeeze those muscles as you draw your arms back. and lower down. Inhale the forearms, exhale the elbows. Inhale into extension, exhale, reach. Inhale, draw back, squeeze, hold. Lower down on the exhale. We're going to do 2 more. Inhale the forearms, exhale the elbows. Inhale into extension, exhale, reach. Inhale, squeeze and hold, and lower down. Last one. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Good job. Come on up. So that exercise is so good for your upper back and your posture when you're sitting at a desk all the time. Just getting those muscles, getting the blood pumping through to them. They don't get enough of a workout, and they're constantly working really hard to hold us together because our bodies are like this all the time. So working through the back and opening the shoulders like that can be very challenging, and is often a weak point for everybody. So work on that one, work on that scarecrow. A lot of you will notice that when you're lifting your forearms off, you won't be able to keep the elbows down, or you won't get off as far as me. I've got a lot more mobility in my joints. So, you may only get your hands off the ground a centimeter before you get your elbows up, and then when you go to lift your elbows, your forearms might be lower. But just keep thinking of that. Keep thinking of your hands trying to be higher than your elbows. So if I'm sitting, it looks like that. That's what we're aiming for. It's not that, which might happen as well until you get used to it. Okay, we're trying to lift, and then lift, and then lower everything down at the same time. Okay, anyway, I think that'll do for today. So sorry about all the interruptions, the dog and the gardener. And I think I'm going to look at doing some live videos, guys. I'm just going to send you out an email, get a bit of a idea if any of you are going to be interested in logging on at a certain time and following along with me in real time. I can do it via an app called Zoom, and I've been researching it all and trying to put it all together, and just so that in these crazy times, if you're not feeling safe coming to the studio and you want to do some workouts at home, we can keep you moving. Okay, it's really important that you keep moving and keep your health and fitness up. We don't want to regress from all the hard work that you have put in to date, and B, the more that you can keep your fitness and your strength up, the more it can boost your immunity. So make sure you're eating well, and if you can at the moment, get out in the sunshine, go for a walk on the beach, get your feet wet in the sand and in the ocean, go for a swim. All of these things are so good for your soul, for your mind, and for your health. Okay, so stay well, everybody, and I'll see you in the studio soon, or reach out to me on email or in this group now. You can just reach out at any time and ask me anything. I'm here to help, and hopefully we get through this whole situation really quickly. Okay, bye.